Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Mill Creek Crossing Connection, brought to you by Dan Dolan and Dan Dolan Homes, as of course you just heard there on the commercial. And in studio we have Dwight Wheelan with us once again this week. And Dwight, I was just telling you, we got an audience. We've got some students from Comanche High School that are in to do a little tour, and they get a chance to see a live radio interview on the air, and how exciting it is.
Yeah, you expect it to be something real fancy and stuff like that, but it's just right down to earth. And
just a couple of people sitting in front of a couple of microphones, just having a chat.
Yeah. I'll tell my story about Little Red Wagon.
Oh, yeah.
I kept telling my grandkids I never had a Little Red Wagon. So one year for my birthday, I think it was Amy, had a little scale red wagon for me with an elephant in it and flags all over it. And it's sat in my office for years. And finally, I think she took it, or her mother did, Jill, but I'm not sure what happened to my Little Red Wagon, but it's in good hands.
Well, and I love the thought of the day about toddlers going through that why phase, because that is hilarious. I've had, nephews where just everything is why. You say, hey, it's time to go to, we're going to go here. Why?
Yeah.
It's time to eat. Why? It's time to go to bed. Why?
I had two kids.
Well, because you got to sleep.
Yeah. I had 2 kids, 5 grandkids, and 6 great-grandkids. And so I had a lot of experience with why. And just because I want to doesn't work well.
Yeah, that's not a good example. Well, and I want to mention this as well. We talked a little bit before the show about our love of baseball.
Yeah.
And you dropped off to me a booklet here, Baseball's Best 101 Players, and I will definitely go through this, and I thank you for that. So.
You bet. You're welcome. And I'll see if I can find the other supermodel of that. But I guess we'll do something to pay the bill here, hadn't we?
Oh, that's right. Boy, we're halfway through the show. We haven't talked about what we want to talk about. But, the last couple of days was really odd. They said it would get cooler or colder, but I don't think they said it'd be windy. But, boy, yesterday was just terrible.
Yeah,
30, 40-mile-an-hour winds. And I'm thinking, you're in those nice, comfy, warm homes there at Mill Creek Crossing. I'm sure you didn't even know it was windy.
No, not unless we looked out the window and saw the willow tree behind us really moving around. But Mary has had some lookers at the Connor Court home, as well as 1630 on Garrett Avenue. We do have those 2 that she's showing, and she's there Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 1, and we're soon going to have another month rolling around here, aren't we? And then on the 13th, we'll have the days that we have the treats. So, but she told me she had a couple visitors, and they had their grown kids with them.
Okay.
And so that's a good situation because, our kids, at our age, our kids wonder what we're going to do or what we're doing and things like that. And they have an interest, and they want to make sure that the folks are getting a good, warm home, which they are. It's kind of a torn between the 2 homes because on Garrett Avenue it's about a half-finished basement, which is very attractive. Mm-hmm. On the Connor Court home, it's a 3-car garage, which is also very attractive. It's the 3rd stall is 41 feet deep, so and we've mentioned before, you can have an office, you can have a exercise room, anything that you can imagine in part of that 41 feet. And another home out there, we did put an office in the 3rd stall, and he could still park 2 cars bumper to bumper. So, as we've always said, you can dream and you can want some changes, but please remember it always costs to make changes and also additions. But on Connor Court, if people wanted the half basement finished, you could easily accommodate 2 more bedrooms down there because the egress windows are on the side of the basement. So you could add bedrooms if you need to. There's 3 bedrooms upstairs. So you could have a total of 5. Or it's a great place to have a TV room too. We've always enjoyed our basement, and until we've gotten to the age where we don't look, we can go down the steps, but it's coming up as a chore anymore. So the kids moved the TV upstairs, so the only reason we go downstairs is when I have something to do in the office. But that finished basement is sure attractive.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, that was one of the questions I have. You had mentioned that some of the adult children came through with the parents that were looking for a place, and maybe this is more directed toward Mary since she's the one that showed it, but what were some of the questions the kids had about, like, what were they looking for?
I don't know. We didn't go to that depth when we were talking. However, this is backwards.
Okay.
The husband liked the half-finished basement. The wife liked the 3-car garage. So
yeah, that is kind of reverse what you would think.
Yeah. But you don't know what goes through the mind.
Right.
I think in any change like buying a home, you have to picture yourself in the situation, and or picture the spouse, and see really how it fits. I've dealt with some people who were very selfish, and if I can't have this down here, we just won't buy this house, and they didn't. He wanted a workshop, and it just didn't suit him at that point. And he could have had the whole basement. Part of it was finished, but you just don't know how people look at something like that when they're making that kind of investment.
Yeah, you just never know, because I know you or I or anybody could look at a property and say, boy, this is really nice, and then someone else walks in and goes, well, I don't like this over here, or I like that, and you were looking like, what's wrong with these people?
When you bought your first house, did you ever imagine that someday people would be paying $250,000 for a home?
Oh, no, not at all.
My first one was $5,700.
Oh, wow.
So,
yeah.
I've been through the whole thing. I saw homes in the 70s sell for just over $100,000, but they had points of 14%, with 14% with 4 or 5 points. So, the housing industry has really changed. But so have the designs. I never imagined that we would have the accommodations when we were young and would have liked to have them. Now we're old and we don't know what to do with all the space. But
well, and the reason I asked the question about the children, because one of the questions I would ask if I was, with my parent was how accessible, how easy it is to get around, and of course, the design of the Dan Dolan homes includes all of those age-in-place features that I think would be very attractive.
You bet. No step entry, the door handles instead of knobs, the large light switches. and it has evolved to the point where they have islands in the kitchen, and instead of the old breakfast bar and the pantry, it's just a whole different house now than it was 12 years ago when I bought it.
Sure. And of course, one of the biggest attractions is the walk-in shower.
You bet.
That might be one of the more popular rooms in the whole house, isn't it, to some people?
You know, people advertise and talk about walk-in showers. And to me, that means there's still about a 4-inch step. We're talking about roll-in showers.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And one time I had a man there in a wheelchair, electric wheelchair, and he was off, and I was talking to his wife, and pretty soon we heard him holler, and we went to find him, and there he was sitting in the shower in his electric wheelchair, just to show us that he could get around in the house and get in the shower with his other wheelchair, of course. But no, we've seen a lot of different situations.
No question. Well, we've quickly run out of time, so we'll just let folks know again. Open houses Tuesday through Saturday from 11 to 1. Mary is there. Or if that time doesn't work for you, you can give her a call and set up a time to come see the homes. And
You
there's
bet.
2 available right
You
now
bet.
out there.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. Well, thanks a lot for coming in, Dwight. I appreciate it. Appreciate the book there.
Yeah.
Show it here to our camera audience, and I'll definitely have a read with that here.
Well, I'll try to find the 800 pages for you.
That's today's Mill Creek Crossing Connection, brought to you by Dan Dolan and Dan Dolan Homes. Listen every Wednesday morning here on KROS.
KROS 1340 AM, Clinton, Iowa, FM 105.9.